So let me give you the good news, no matter how bad the news is. Okay. That's always there. The banks have to lend money. So when people say, well, you should save cash, why would you save cash when you can borrow it? So, it's almost like the real estate owned. Remember those days? In 2008 and all that property was available, but the bank owned it. REO is what they're called, real estate owned. You could go to the bank and they said, look, you got this office building, nobody wants it, sell it to me. And the bank would actually loan you the money to buy the property. The secret to life is how much money can you borrow and how well can you manage that debt.
When you go get that bank-owned property, what do they ask? Who's your team? How are you going to manage it? And how are you going to fix it? Because that's how they make money. So it's almost like handing, a baton in a race. Like they hand you the baton and they hope, that you can take it up the value, and then they can get it off their books. And that's essentially how the real money is made. Is you got to wait though. You don't want to catch that falling knife. You want it to actually be at the bank. You want to go to the bank. You want to negotiate with the bank, and that's where you get the heaviest discounts on real estate, and then you fix it.
I've been wrong about Austin so many times. Like it's because we don't understand the amount of pressure the amount of money and people moving to places that protect them from what they're leaving. New York, Illinois, New Jersey, everybody knows this story, but they're not betting on the story. And I would just suggest to people, this story is not going to change. The more mandates they put out, the more crazy politics that people make, the more they pressure landlords, the more eviction moratoriums they do. All that stuff is pushing people and money out of New York, New Jersey, California,
Oregon, Seattle,
Oregon, anywhere the politics are crazy, regardless of what side you vote on. If they're not protecting the money and the people investing money, that money will move, and it's moving to Arizona, Utah, Nevada, Florida, the Carolinas. Like, it's just going to explode down here. Texas is on fire.
So let me say this much is the easy part is raising the money. The hard part is managing the property. And I think that's what people forget, because when Kim and I first started out, managing a property is the biggest business of all. But if you're just a mom and pop, you can only manage so many properties. So what is the secret to going from a small investor to managing, let's say, 150 units at a time?
Now, I talk about this a lot, and some people are knocking me right now because prices are so high. And I know that a lot of you are watching have already had that mindset or trying to save for your next property. If that feels out of reach, it might be time to consider buying property with a friend, partner, or someone else that maybe you're close to. Things are going to go up. If you're still renting your home and expect to be there for at least another year, I would look into asking for a 2-year lease the next time your lease comes up. Now, I know some of you might be apprehensive about all this, especially if you feel like you could be buying a home a year from now. I would advise you to cross that bridge when you come to it. As a property owner, I'm not encouraging you to break your lease, but they may work with you if you find a new tenant or sublet your place.
Yeah, well, I would say, first of all, just skip the small stuff and go buy big deals. Even if you have to collaborate with somebody else to do the big deals always work better than little deals.
If buying your own rental property isn't in the cards right now, a real estate investment trust or REIT are a good way to invest your money. REITs are companies that own and operate real estate for a profit. When inflation rises, so can rental income. Different REITs invest in different types of assets, so you will need to do your homework here. I recommend that if you are investing in REITs, that you take a look at multifamily housing, data centers, and industrial real estate. All three types of this type of real estate are poised to keep going up. And investing in those types of REITs, because it's real estate, will also allow you to basically capitalize on future inflation. So where do you think we're heading with the real estate market and the debt market and all that?
I just want to say to people, to borrow $300 million, you've got to be absolutely spot on with the management. And as you know, management is the key for real estate, for businesses, for the government, everything. And if a person cannot manage, we're screwed. So as long as we have our management skills in, we'll do well. Like, I don't really care. You know, as I said in front of the room, I said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil.
I've been buying real estate for 25 years. I think we're in a super cycle that has never, ever happened before in our lifetimes. This country would become a renter nation. I've been talking about that for 10 years. It's happening right now. Also, I do not think real estate is overpriced today. I think cap rates will compress to 50% of what they are today. And I think that people are underestimating the $3 trillion, $4 trillion that's been printed. If you look at the amount of money that has been printed and compare that to the amount of appreciation of real values in real estate, the property values have not kept up with the printing press.
Lacey Hunt was one of the guys with the Dallas Fed, I think. And he was talking GDP, gross domestic product, equals money supply, M2, times velocity of money. When they measure GDP, they don't measure broken glass. And what broken glass is, you know, Daniel, when you walk around the shopping centers, a lot of places are empty. That's broken glass. That means, so they don't measure the losses. They measure the gains in GDP, but they don't measure the number of shops that are closed. So it's not an accurate number. So ever since Lacey Hunt said that, I went to our friend's place, I'll mention his name, and he was trying to sell me the whole top floor of this building. And I walked into that, and I turned it down because it's office space. I don't understand office. I understand apartment houses. I don't understand office space. So I went into this office building I was supposed to buy. It was 70% empty. That's broken glass. That means somebody is not receiving the monthly payment. So every time the Fed chairman, this guy Powell, gets up there and says, oh, we're issuing, we're going to print money, they don't print money. But everybody thinks when the Fed says we're printing money or quantitative easing, they think it's M2. The Fed doesn't print money. The Fed prints bank reserves. And the difference is we cannot spend bank reserves. It's not money. But everybody says, oh my God, there's going to be inflation because the Fed's printing money, but they're not printing money. They're printing bank reserves.
The people that are buying real estate today are completely different than 2010. This has nothing, not even similar. These are wealthy people buying second and third homes. This is not a first-time buyer. People are paying either cash or putting 50% down. In many cases, they're putting down more than they've ever put down. And you also have investors that are buying real estate from end users. They're lining up all over Scottsdale. There's 25 offers. This story's told every day. There's 25 offers on a single family home. Everything's going over asking. And the guy that gets the deal is an investor that has no intention of living there, but it's going to Airbnb the property.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but And this is a big but. You won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.